There is a fundamental lie that we have all accepted as truth. The lie is that aging is a rigid, one-way street. We believe that as the years on the calendar go up, our energy, our mobility, and our cognitive sharpness must inevitably go down. We treat aging as a fixed chronological event. But scientists, geneticists, and longevity researchers now know that this is false. There is a massive difference between your chronological age, the number of candles on your birthday cake, and your biological age. Your biological age is the actual rate at which your cells are degrading. It is possible to be 50 years old according to your driver's license, but to have the biochemistry, the hormonal profile, and the cellular repair speed of a 30-year-old. Conversely, it is possible to be 30 years old but to have the inflammation markers and DNA damage of someone in their 60s. Inside your body right now, a silent war is being waged. It is a war against entropy. Scientists have identified 9 specific biological processes that cause us to wither and fade. They call these the hallmarks of aging. They include genomic instability, where your DNA blueprint gets scratched and unreadable. They include telomere attrition, where the protective caps of your chromosomes burn down like a fuse. They include mitochondrial dysfunction, where the power plants of your cells simply run out of fuel. And they include cellular senescence, the accumulation of zombie cells that refuse to die and poison the tissue around them. Most of modern medicine focuses on keeping you alive once you are already broken. It focuses on lifespan, simply keeping the heart beating. But nature offers us something different. Nature focuses on healthspan. What if I told you that the keys to manipulating these biological switches to lengthening your telomeres, to scrubbing out zombie cells, and to repairing broken DNA are not found in a futuristic pharmaceutical lab, but in the soil? There is a concept in biology called xenohormesis. It is the idea that plants, when under stress, produce powerful chemical compounds to protect themselves. When we consume these plants, those same compounds flip survival switches inside of our own bodies. They make us harder to kill. Today, we are going to walk through the ultimate longevity garden. I have compiled the top 20 plants that have been scientifically proven to interact with the hallmarks of aging. We are going to look at sirtuin activators, NRF2 pathway triggers, and potent senolytics. This is not just a list of vegetables to eat. This is a user manual for your own biology. Let's begin the protocol. Number 1. We have to start at the very foundation of your genetic stability, astragalus root. Specifically, we are looking at its ability to protect telomeres. To understand why this plant is so critical, you have to visualize your DNA. Imagine your chromosomes look like shoelaces. At the end of every shoelace, there is a plastic tip called an aglet that keeps the lace from fraying. Your DNA has these too. They are called telomeres. Every single time your cells divide to create a new cell, a tiny piece of that plastic tip gets sliced off. It's a countdown clock. When the telomere gets too short, the cell can no longer divide. It becomes senescent, inactive, and eventually dies. This is the Hayflick limit, the hard barrier of human lifespan. For years, we thought this was unstoppable. But Astragalus membranaceus, a staple root in traditional Chinese medicine, contains a very rare, very specific saponin called cycloestrogenol. In clinical settings, this molecule has been shown to be one of the only natural substances on Earth that can activate an enzyme called telomerase. Telomerase is a repair crew. It comes in and actually adds length back to those plastic tips. It rebuilds the fuse. By consuming high-quality astragalus extracts, you are essentially telling your cells that they are younger than they actually are. You are delaying the Hayflick limit. In traditional medicine, this root was used to strengthen Wei Qi, or protective energy. Today, we know that protective energy is actually genetic stability. But a warning, drinking a weak tea won't give you enough cycloestrogenol. You need to look for high-potency, standardized extracts to see cellular benefits. Number 2. The sirtuin activator, Japanese knotweed. You have likely heard the headline that red wine is the secret to long life. This is the French paradox. The theory was that a compound called resveratrol found in grape skins was protecting people from heart disease and aging. And while resveratrol is indeed a miracle molecule, red wine is a terrible delivery system. The alcohol damages your DNA faster than the tiny amount of resveratrol can repair it. You would need to drink 100 bottles of wine a day to get a therapeutic dose. If you want the medicine without the poison, you turn to Japanese knotweed. This invasive plant, often seen growing on the sides of highways, is the highest natural source of trans-resveratrol in the world. Why do we want resveratrol? Because it is a caloric restriction mimetic. We know that fasting is one of the quickest ways to extend life. When you starve a body, it panics and goes into survival mode. It turns on a family of genes called sirtuins, specifically SIRT1. Think of SIRT1 as the foreman of a construction crew. When he wakes up, he stops building new structures and starts repairing the cracks in the foundation. He fixes broken DNA strands. He improves insulin sensitivity. He clears out waste. Japanese knotweed tricks your body into thinking it is fasting, even if you just ate lunch. It wakes up the SIRT1 foreman. By taking a knotweed extract, you are keeping a constant repair crew working on your genetic highway, patching potholes before they become sinkholes. However, absorption is key. Resveratrol is fat-soluble. If you take it with water, you waste it. You must take it with a healthy fat, like yogurt or olive oil, to pull it into your cells. Number 3. The master switch. Broccoli sprouts. Please notice the distinction here. I did not say broccoli. I said broccoli sprouts, the 3-day-old baby version of the plant. This is a lesson in potential energy. The mature broccoli vegetable is healthy. It has fiber and vitamins. But the baby sprout is a weapon. It contains up to 100 times more of a precursor compound called glucoraphanin than the adult plant. When you chew these raw sprouts, you break the plant's cell walls and mix that compound with an enzyme called myrosinase. The chemical reaction creates a new molecule, sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is the most potent natural activator of the UNRF2 pathway. You need to memorize that name, UNRF2. Think of your body like a house. You have smoke detectors. When there is a little bit of smoke, free radicals, toxins, oxidation vitamin C is like a guy with a bucket of water. He puts out one fire at a time. But NRF2 is the central alarm system. When sulforaphane hits your system, it pulls the NRF2 fire alarm. Your DNA then commands every cell in your body to release its own antioxidant enzymes, glutathione, catalase, superoxide, dismutase. These aren't buckets of water. These are fire hoses. They quench millions of free radicals per second. By eating a handful of raw broccoli sprouts, you aren't just adding antioxidants to your body. You are teaching your body to become an antioxidant factory. Pro tip: freeze your sprouts. The freezing process breaks the cell walls for you, maximizing the creation of sulforaphane. Number 4. The brain preserver. Rosemary. We travel now to Acciaroli, Italy, a small village that is famous for having one of the highest concentrations of centenarians, people living over 100 in the world. Researchers went there to find out why. They found that these people smoked, they drank, and they didn't exercise in gyms, but they did one thing consistently. They ate rosemary. Lots of it. Rosemary is not just a flavor. It is a neuroprotective agent. It contains a compound called carnosic acid. This acid is unique because it fights off free radical damage, specifically in the brain. But its true longevity power lies in its ability to protect acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter responsible for memory, learning, and speed of thought. It is the chemical that allows you to find your keys, remember a name, and learn a new language. As we age, enzymes in our brain chew up acetylcholine, leading to the senior moments and cognitive decline we associate with getting old. In Alzheimer's disease, this chemical is almost gone. Rosemary acts as an inhibitor to those enzymes. It stops the breakdown of acetylcholine. It keeps your neural wires sharp and conductive. It is so potent that even the smell of rosemary essential oil has been shown in clinical trials to improve memory recall speed by up to 75%. In the search for longevity, We often focus on the body, but a young body is useless with an old mind. Rosemary ensures your brain spans matches your lifespan. Number 5. The anti-inflammaging agent, turmeric. Scientists have coined a term for the specific way humans get old, inflammaging. It refers to a chronic, low-grade, background hum of inflammation that never goes away. When you are young, you have acute inflammation. You cut your finger. It gets red. It heals. The redness goes away. But as you age, the off switch gets broken. Your body stays in a state of constant, simmering alert. This chronic heat destroys blood vessels, damages joints, and leads to almost every major Western disease, from heart failure to cancer. Turmeric is the antidote to inflammaging, specifically the bright orange pigment inside it called curcumin. Curcumin is a biological blockade. It works by stopping a protein complex called NF-κB. NF-κB is a transcription factor. It is a messenger that travels into the nucleus of your cells, the command center, and turns on the genes that produce inflammatory cytokines. It literally flips the genetic switch for pain and swelling. Curcumin stands in the doorway and blocks NF-κB from entering the nucleus. It stops the inflammation at the genetic level, before it even starts. But here is the golden rule that most people miss. Curcumin is poorly absorbed. If you just eat turmeric powder, your liver flushes it out in 20 minutes. You must combine it with piperine found in black pepper and a lipid, like fat. This combination increases the absorption of the medicine by 2,000%. Without the pepper, it's just a spice. With the pepper, it's a drug. Number 6. The zombie hunter. Strawberries. This sounds like science fiction, but it is happening in your tissues right now. It is called cellular senescence. When a cell gets too old or damaged to divide safely, it is supposed to commit programmed cell suicide, a process called apoptosis. It takes one for the team and dies so new cells can take its place. But sometimes, a cell refuses to die. It lingers. It becomes a senescent cell, often called a zombie cell. These zombie cells don't just sit there. They are metabolically active. They secrete a toxic sludge of inflammatory chemicals called SASP, senescence-associated secretory phenotype. This sludge infects the healthy, young cells around them, turning them into zombies too. As we age, our bodies get cluttered with these undead cells, leading to tissue dysfunction and frailty. You need a senolytic, a compound that specifically hunts down and kills these zombie cells. The most accessible natural senolytic is found in strawberries. It is a flavonoid called fisetin. Fisetin is remarkable. It ignores healthy cells, but when it finds a senescent cell, it disrupts its survival pathway and forces it to undergo apoptosis. It clears the trash. The Mayo Clinic is currently studying fisetin for its ability to extend health span and reduce frailty. But to get this effect, you can't just eat one strawberry. Longevity experts often suggest a hit-and-run protocol, eating a large bowl of organic strawberries for 2 or 3 days in a row, once a month, to flush the system, rather than a small amount daily. Number 7. The autophagy trigger, wheat germ. We move now to the cellular cleanup process known as autophagy. Auto means self. Phagy means to eat. Autophagy is the body's innate recycling program. Over time, your cells accumulate junk misfolded proteins, broken organelles, oxidized waste. If this junk builds up, the cell becomes inefficient and sluggish. Autophagy is the vacuum cleaner. Your cells bag up this trash and send it to the lysosome, where it is broken down and recycled into fresh raw materials for energy. It is the ultimate renewal. The problem is, as we age, autophagy slows down. We need to kickstart it. Enter spermidine. Spermidine is a polyamine compound that was originally discovered, as the name suggests, in sperm, but it is most abundant in our diet in wheat germ, aged cheese, and fermented soy. Spermidine is a caloric restriction mimetic, similar to resveratrol, but it works specifically by inducing autophagy. It tricks the cell into thinking resources are scarce, forcing it to recycle its old junk for fuel. Research shows that high intake of spermidine is linked to lower blood pressure and reduced risk of heart failure. It is protecting the heart by keeping the heart cells clean. Wheat germ is inexpensive and easy to use. Sprinkling raw, toasted wheat germ on your yogurt or smoothies is an easy way to deliver a daily dose of cellular renewal. Number 8. The mitochondria renewer. Pomegranate. If DNA is the blueprint, mitochondria are the power plants. They are the tiny organelles inside your cells that turn food into ATP energy. When you are a child, your mitochondria burn clean and hot. You have boundless energy. But as you age, your mitochondria get damaged. They become inefficient. They start leaking exhaust in the form of oxidative stress, which further damages the cell. This loss of mitochondrial function is one of the primary reasons we feel old and tired. Pomegranate holds the secret to fixing this. It contains a molecule called ellagic acid, but the ellagic acid itself isn't the miracle. The miracle happens in your gut. When you consume pomegranate, especially the seeds and the white pith, not just the sugary juice, certain bacteria in your microbiome eat the ellagic acid and transform it into a postbiotic called urolithin A. Urolithin A is powerful because it triggers a process called mitophagy. Just like autophagy eats cellular junk, mitophagy specifically eats defective mitochondria. It breaks down the old, dying batteries and stimulates the cell to build brand new, highly efficient ones. It is literally like swapping the engine in an old car for a factory new model. However, there is a catch. Only about 40% of people have the right gut bacteria to perform this conversion. This is why eating fermented foods alongside your pomegranate is crucial. You need to garden your gut to harvest the longevity benefits. Number 9. The NAD+ defender. Parsley. You may have heard of NAD+, nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide. If you follow anti-aging science, you know this is the buzzword of the decade. NAD+ is a coenzyme found in every single living cell. It is required for over 500 biological reactions. It is the fuel that sirtuins, those repair genes we talked about earlier, need to work. Without NAD+, your DNA repair stops. Here is the tragedy of aging. By the time you are middle-aged, you have half the NAD+ you had when you were 20. Why? It's not just that you make less. It's that an enzyme called CD38 is eating it all up. CD38 is an ACE enzyme that destroys NAD+. As inflammation rises with age, CD38 levels skyrocket, causing your NAD+ levels to crash. Parsley is your shield. Parsley is packed with a flavonoid called apigenin. Apigenin is a potent CD38 inhibitor. It puts a muzzle on the enzyme that is destroying your fuel. By consuming large amounts of parsley, not just as a garnish, but as a salad ingredient or blended into green smoothies, you are stopping the leak in your gas tank. You are allowing your natural NAD+ levels to rise, giving your cells the energy they need to repair DNA and maintain youthful function. Dried parsley is even more concentrated, making it an easy addition to soups and stews. Number 10. The metabolic master, gynostemma. In the mountainous Guizhou province of China, locals drink a tea made from a vine they call jiaogulan. The census data tells an incredible story. The number of people living past 100 in this region is far above the global average. They call jiaogulan the immortality herb. Gynostemma pentaphyllum is an adaptogen. Adaptogens are plants that help the body resist biological stress. But gynostemma is special because it activates a metabolic pathway called AMPK. Number 11. The immune modulator, reishi mushroom. In Taoism, this is the mushroom of immortality. Modern science points to its effect on immunosenescence, the aging of the immune system. As we get older, our immune cells get confused. They either attack the body or miss the cancer cells they should be hunting. Reishi contains polysaccharides that retrain these white blood cells. It calms the system when it is hyperactive and wakes it up when it is sluggish. It is the ultimate regulator. Number 12. The collagen architect, gotu kola. Wrinkles are not just cosmetic. They are structural failures. Gotu Kola does not just contain collagen. It signals your fibroblast cells to produce new collagen. It improves the tensile strength of your skin and blood vessels. In Ayurveda, yogis used it to improve meditation, proving it strengthens the connective tissue of the mind as well as the body. Number 13. The Liver Guardian. Milk thistle. You cannot live a long life with a dirty filter. Your liver processes every toxin you encounter. Milk thistle seeds contain silymarin, a compound that strengthens the outer walls of liver cells, preventing toxins from entering. More importantly, it boosts the production of glutathione, the master antioxidant specifically within the liver. A clean liver means clean blood, and clean blood means a youthful body. Number 14. The Stress Shield. Rhodiola rosea. Chronic stress is the accelerator of aging. Cortisol, the stress hormone, literally shrinks the brain's memory center. Rhodiola is an adaptogen that acts like a thermostat for cortisol. It lowers it when you are anxious and raises your energy when you are exhausted. It protects your mitochondria from burnout, giving you the resilience of youth. Number 15. The Epigenetic Editor. Matcha green tea. You are drinking the whole leaf here, which means you get a massive dose of EGCG. This compound is an epigenetic modifier. It helps prevent the DNA methylation changes that turn off your good genes as you age. Matcha helps keep your youth genes switched on. Do not use boiling water. It burns the antioxidants. Keep it under 175 degrees. Number 16. The Blood Flow Master. Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo trees are living fossils that survive atomic blasts. For humans, they master microcirculation. As we age, the tiny capillaries in our eyes and ears clog up. Ginkgo dilates these vessels, ensuring oxygen reaches the furthest corners of your brain. It is the primary defense against age-related vision and hearing loss. Number 17. The Brain Fertilizer. Lion's Mane mushroom. We used to think you couldn't grow new brain cells. We were wrong. Lion's mane contains hericenones that stimulate nerve growth factor, NGF. This protein tells your brain to repair damaged neurons and grow new ones. If you fear cognitive decline, this is non-negotiable. It is fertilizer for your neural network. Number 18. The Artery Plumber. Garlic. Stiff arteries are a hallmark of aging. Aged garlic extract prevents the calcification of blood vessels, keeping them flexible. The trick? You must chop the garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the medicinal allicin to form. Without the pause, you kill the medicine. Number 19. The DNA Shield. Wild blueberries. Not the big cultivated ones. You want the tiny, dark, wild berries. They are packed with anthocyanins that can cross the blood-brain barrier to protect memory. Systemically, they reduce oxidative damage to your DNA by up to 20%. They are a force field for your genetic code. Number 20. The Vitality Tonic. Siberian ginseng. Also known as eleuthero, this root was the secret of Soviet cosmonauts. It improves VO2 max, the efficiency with which your body uses oxygen. The better you process oxygen, the longer you live. It prevents physical burnout and supports the adrenal glands through the chaos of modern life. We have covered a massive amount of ground, from the telomere tips of astragalus to the oxygen-boosting power of eleuthero. It can feel overwhelming. Do not try to take all 20. Nature works by synergy. Pick 3. Pick one for your DNA, one for your brain, and one for your daily defense. Consistency is the key. Eating a pound of blueberries once a year does nothing. Eating a handful every day changes your blood chemistry. Aging is a natural process, but decay is optional. The stiffness, the forgetfulness, the fatigue, these are not requirements. They are the result of biological damage that you now have the tools to repair. You have the knowledge. The garden is open. If you are ready to invest in your future self, hit that like button and subscribe. We are just getting started. Stay curious, stay wild, and keep growing.